Today I'm excited to have Ibrahim Khalil on the show. I have known Ibrahim for a few years now, and in those years, I have come to know him as a well grounded human being who is well connected with his faith and values. He is a great example to the youth of the community. He is a teacher by profession and an expecting father. And inshallah, by this time the podcast gets republished, you'll have a newborn. Mashallah and inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. Yeah, yeah,
Assalamu alaikum, Ibrahim. Thank you
yeah.
for taking the time on being on this podcast.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much for having me. I was quite honored with the invitation. Um, I don't think I'm worthy of any interview, but maybe I could be of some benefit, inshallah.
Inshallah, Ibrahim. I'm really excited having this conversation with you, and I feel that we'll be having a few good discussion on a few topics. Yeah.
Inshallah.
Now, for those who do not know Ibrahim Khalil, what would you say?
Um, I would say that I'm a person that is uh like my life goal is to help young people or to help assist young people in uh, understanding their establishing the Australian Muslim identity, that they understand how they live, like how they can live as um, not only productive members but also beneficial members of society to those around them, to be an inspiration to others, and also to help really to help them really discover their talents and the things that they're very good at, because I always find and I'm always amazed every single interaction. I think we'll talk about a few of them.
Yeah.
The potential and the wisdom and the experience that our young people have. And
Mm.
I think it's important for us to nurture that and share that with the rest of the world, but also ground it
Yes.
in their faith, inshallah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome! That's very inspiring, Ibrahim. Now, I've heard your grandparents were among the early Muslim pioneers that migrated to Australia, and we've always they have made a great impact on the Muslim community, and then established a bit of a strong what's this a strong society. How has this shaped you in the person you are today?
Yeah, that's a really deep one. And I'll probably start there. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I ask Allah to give me eloquence in my speech, inshallah. Because that is a big that is a big question that takes a lot of time to unpack. But my grandparents, from both of them, I learned a lot. I
Yes.
learned a lot from my grandfather in particular, Dr. Qazi Ishfaq Ahmed. Or Nana,
Mm,
and I refer to him as Nana.
yeah.
He probably the most inspiring thing about him and what was what actually led me to becoming a teacher
Mm,
was even when um, he would have been uh, he would have been in his 80s, I think, when his 80s or late 70s when I was studying my HSC. And and I have to learn like extension 2 math, right? And he has a background in engineering and these kind of things,
yes.
but it would have been a long time since he touched on those subjects.
Yeah.
And he would say, Ibrahim, let me help you, learning and getting, like getting better marks and all of these kind of things. And I said, okay, no problem. Um, and he actually like he hadn't taught it in a long time. The way that actually we learn it and the syllabus, the curriculum was very different to how he had learned it. And he told me just and then so he sat down with me and he looked through it once, and then he said, "Leave your textbook here with me,
Mm,
right, overnight, and come see me tomorrow." And then I came to see him tomorrow, and he had a full plan
yeah.
on how, how to tackle this subject, how to learn this, how to do that. What are these techniques? To the point where he taught me like one of these methods in it would have been extension 1 maths, I think, for long division. he taught me a way to do it that wasn't in the textbook
Oh wow.
and it wasn't on any text. And then so I actually went into an exam and I did the question that way.
Yes.
And then the teacher came and he's like, "How did you answer this? This looks like you cheated, whatever. Like, show me how you did it." And then I showed him like the way that my grandfather taught me. He's like, "Wow, that is like unique. I've never seen that before."
Yeah.
Um, so what I'm trying to get at is that what was very inspiring about him is that he always had a deep, deep passion for learning and knowledge in general,
Yes.
never limited to anything.
Yeah.
And he had always he he was able to keep his mind sharp enough
Mm.
at that age that he could pick up anything and
Mm.
he could um, not only learn it but also teach it.
Mm.
And that was what inspired me. And I always thought, if I lose anything, I would not ever want to lose my ability to learn
Yes.
and lose my ability to teach.
Yes.
I think that's my dua, and that is like one of the great inspirations I get from my grandfather. Um, and then from my grandmother, I get that inspiration of service. She was always looking after, always asking, always making dua. You get that kind of like that spiritual aspect
Yes.
from her.
Mm.
And she was always taking care of us, always around, always asking about us. Um, so and both of those things they temper each other,
Yes. That's right.
right?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
I try to have that balance from between the both of them, inshallah.
Mashallah, it's a very touching, and like you said, your grandparents had a big impact on you, and the decision that you made to become a teacher, that's right, that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
both my parents were teachers as well, and there's this sort of strong sense of
Hmm.
education, almost like an innate instinct response to educate and to teach. So I think it's kind of runs in my veins as well. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
teachers, it's a forever. It's a forever. The gift is always. I don't know. I'm lost for words, but you'll always
Hmm.
find there's always someone out there who will appreciate something like that. You will never forget your high school teacher. You'll
Yeah.
never forget your primary school teacher. That's always be in the back of your mind, that's someone
Hmm.
etched in your memory. Anyway, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now, I
Inshallah, yeah.
mean, how are you a high school teacher? Are you a primary school teacher? Tell us about your profession, Brian.
Yeah, so I'm a high school teacher.
Yeah.
I teach chemistry
Okay.
to year 12 students.
Okay.
That's my main role.
Mm.
But I'm also at my school, I'm the co-curricular coordinator.
Mm. Superb.
What that means is I coordinate activities that are not related to the like NESA, the syllabus that is required or the curriculum that's required for all students to do. So I manage activities that are external to the school curriculum. So
Okay.
things like after school
Mm.
sports, things like debating competitions, public speaking competitions, robotics competitions.
Yeah.
Um, those kind of things, yeah, like and a lot of like leadership. I'm also this like under that I'm the student leadership coordinator. I've been in that role for a long time. This co-curricular thing is a bit new, something that the school wanted to explore in a bit more detail. I work at a school that is 99% Muslim. They are not it's not a Islamic school to be by name, but it is built on Islamic values and the students there are quite practicing and
Okay.
things like that. And I'm in that school for that reason.
Okay. Oh,
I'm serving that community for that reason.
that's amazing, Ibrahim. So just kind of segues into my question. Um, what are the benefits? Like you said, it's not a religious based school, but but the predominance it's based on Islamic values. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, my question would be, what are the differences being in sort of a Islamic based school versus any other school, or yeah, any other schools? What are the pros and the cons that you sort of find?
As a teacher or for
I
students
think
or like as
I
parents,
think as a
what's the
teacher,
perspective
yeah, I think as a
you'd like to give?
teacher,
Yeah.
as being as a
Yeah.
teacher, and possibly being a, you know, a parent as well who is possibly looking into
Yeah.
putting their student in you have Christian schools,
Yeah.
you have yeah,
Hmm.
Christian schools predominant back in my hometown, where you have Tamil speaking schools, you have Chinese Mandarin speaking
Mm.
schools. And yeah, so whereas in Australia at the moment, I mean, there's probably out there, I'm probably limited on my knowledge, but from I main two schools that I know at this stage are Islamic schools, Islamic based schools, or Christian schools. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Ibrahim.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a wide variety of schools, especially in New South Wales or Australia. They are independent schools. So,
yeah,
so there's public schools,
yeah,
right, which are under the Department of the what is it called? The DET, the Department of Education. Yeah, yeah. So those are run by like those are government schools,
yeah.
and some of them are very good,
Okay,
depending on the areas that you go to.
okay,
Some of them are older. They have a lot of baggage.
yeah,
They're a bit slow to move, but definitely a lot of the newer
yeah,
public schools, and depending on the areas that you go to, can be very, very good.
okay,
Uh, yeah, because they have a diverse range of teachers. They also have very new facilities because they've been built new.
yeah,
They have like, like open classrooms, and they try out a lot of different things, especially in primary school. My
yeah,
sister is a primary school. She's a primary school educator, so she actually has um quite a positive outlook on these public schools, and especially the public schools are very good for catering for students that have special needs,
okay,
um, in a way that other schools usually cannot,
mm,
because they're not purpose-built for that reason.
okay,
I did one of my practicals at Bosley Park High School.
yeah,
The facilities they had there were amazing. And I've had parents come to me who have, one of their children going to our school, and then one of their children have special needs,
yeah.
and they're begging us like, can I just send my child to your school, but then we have to say, look, you can send them to our school, but they won't get the support that they need like they would in a public school.
Why is that?
And they had to send their child to a public school in the end.
Yeah,
Um, because we just don't, because the facilities aren't there. Because
yeah,
okay, so I was talking about the different schools. So um there's the public schools, then there's the Catholic schools. Catholic schools are usually part of large dioceses. They have large governing bodies across usually like main areas like all of Parramatta, or all of like a hunter region or something like that. There's like these all these different overarching bodies,
yeah.
and they're quite well managed, quite well funded. And then there are in the middle there's these independent schools.
Okay,
Usually they're member schools of AIS, which is Australian Independent
yeah,
Schools. Um, and depending on where they are, some of them are religious based.
yeah,
Like even the Islamic schools would be independent schools. Our school, Amity College, is an independent school. You would find schools under the independent schools that are might be Orthodox, or they might be Uniting Church schools, those kind of things. So um, they're kind of in the middle, and depending on how much funding they get, the facilities that they can offer is different, or depending on their fees, the facilities that they offer can be different. Usually, like for public schools, you're asking that question, why, for children with special needs, they need to go public schools, because public schools are usually purpose built for those reasons. Like they have special wings of the school, or they have special staff that are dedicated to taking care of those students, but also um, from the perspective of schools that cater for Muslims, I'll talk in particular, or actually maybe I'll talk more in particular about those from immigrant families. They're it kind of becomes this vicious cycle where um, parents will only send their children to your school if your marks are good,
okay,
right?
yeah. That's right.
Your marks will only be good
Yeah,
if you attract
yeah.
academic students,
Correct.
right? So the pitfall that you fall in is, okay, let's say as an independent school that caters for immigrant families, you want to start catering for those with special needs or those that might not in the end get amazing 8 hours. What will happen is your the number of enrollments will go down. You'll get less immigrant families coming,
Yeah.
and that's what happens. Like, at one point, even we did have a bit of a shift. A lot of our top students started going to other schools, in year 11 and year 12.
B-
So your ranking goes down, and then you get less students enrolling, and then you have less money to work with at
All
the end.
right. It's all
So
about
you kind of becomes this weird cycle where you kind of need to get those good marks
correct.
um, to attract. And I think uh, the underlying factor there is maybe our mentality
Yeah.
as immigrant parents,
Yeah.
or for families that marks are the only thing that matters.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
think if we can shift that,
Yeah.
that there are many other ways to measure our children's success,
Correct.
then we can really push for these kind of things and then give these schools space to breathe and
Grow.
build up these environments
Yeah.
for those students that require it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the incentives for them for the school to build and grow, basically.
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 Now, I mean, it's probably just a probably crude question, but do you get non-Muslims come to your school as well?
Yeah. 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 We do. We did get like maybe there's like uh 3 or 4 in including boys and girls, maybe more than that,
Yeah.
maybe maximum 10 in every year grade, those kind of things. Yeah,
Okay.
our demographics would be like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a stigma,
Yeah.
Ibrahim, to being in a sort of this sort
No,
of
definitely not.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, definitely not. Like, actually, I would always find that those students, and maybe as a teacher it's different,
yeah,
but even when I was when I was a student, but like those students that are from different backgrounds, usually their parents send them, and I've talked to them as well,
yeah,
talked to their parents as well. They send them because actually they believe that Islam has very like the values are very important, and our school values
yeah,
like I think yeah. So the main thing that they told me is that um, our school is built on Islamic values, and Islam has very strong foundations.
yes,
So, if they were to send their child to a Catholic school or another school,
yeah,
they wouldn't be sure as to where that school will stand after 1 or 2 years, those kind of things. And they see us as a bit like, we're a bit firm, we're a bit strong, we have strong values and strong principles, and they value that a lot. And especially, I think a lot of the students that do come to our schools, we don't get many like Christian students because they would go to the other one.
yeah,
We do get many like that are maybe like Buddhist
yeah,
or from Hindu, or they might be Hindu, or
yeah.
they might be um, from other religions that don't have actually like a representative school of
All
their
right.
faith.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also probably a contributing factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, in your opinion, what's the difference? I know it's the obvious difference between private and public schools. I mean, the obvious difference is definitely the fees.
Hmm.
But I mean, in your opinion,
Yeah.
as a teacher, do you see any major differences? Differences?
Yeah, I haven't properly taught in a public school,
Yep.
um, but I do have colleagues and I have family members that teach in public schools.
Yep.
I think it really depends from school to school. And I
Yep.
think generally the better the neighborhood is, like I would think,
Yeah.
like the more north you go, for example,
Yeah.
generally you get better schools, or the more towards, the more east you go,
Yeah.
uh, you get better schools. Whereas in more lower socioeconomic areas, the schools are generally like they have a lot of baggage, they may be slow to move, the school culture isn't that good, and these things are hard to change. These things are very difficult to change. So that's the only issue. But from what I've heard, like some public schools can be very good, um, in terms of education. And in the end, what I always say, and maybe we'll talk about this in more detail. In the end, the main thing that does matter is the home environment.
Correct.
And it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter how amazing the school environment is,
Yeah.
if the home environment is not conducive, or a child is not being supported, or they're being encouraged in the wrong ways,
Yeah,
then nothing a school can do will fix it.
absolutely. I agree with that. Education starts from home, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it does start from home.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, Ibrahim, just going back a little bit, what I mean, you said your grandparents were your inspiration to become teachers. I mean, for our younger listeners who do want to become teachers at some stage, what do you have to study? Is there special subjects, or what's the pathway like to become a teacher in Australia?
Yep, so I did a Bachelor of Science.
Yeah.
First, I majored in physiology and neuroscience. That was my originally my plan was to get into medicine.
Okay.
That was my plan.
Yeah.
I did the exams, and I actually saw quite a few of my friends get into medicine.
Yeah.
And they had to quite a few of them had to move rural. They had
Yeah.
to move out of their homes, um, and that's when I kind of had a bit of a crisis, and I was like, okay, am I prepared to do this? I have two younger sisters.
Yeah.
I have family that I'm very close to,
Yes.
and I think during my uni years, I was getting into this serving the community kind of role,
Yes.
and I wasn't prepared to leave that to study
Mm.
because I was serving and I felt like I was making good inroads and having positive effects on the community around me as well.
Yeah.
So I wasn't prepared to leave that. And then so I kind of thought about, okay, so what is it that I needed to do
Yeah.
so that I can continue this service?
Yes.
And yeah, so teaching came to mind. I was actually tutoring during my bachelor's. Tutoring is a very good um, side hobby or very good job to have in your bachelor's, especially if you start right after you graduate, so that's still fresh. Um, um, yeah, so and then so I had very positive effects there on my students, and then I was like, okay, maybe this is something for me. So then I did a master's of teaching. I did my bachelor's at Sydney University, then I did a master's of teaching at UTS. And yeah, and then after your first year of your master's, after your first practical, you can actually start working as a casual teacher, which is another incentive to take the master's because you can stretch the last year of your degree out, and you can start working and start earning and living and all of those kind of things, and it pays pretty well casually even.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
good. Yeah. I mean, it sounds so. Any regrets? I mean, being teacher versus a doctor. Any regrets, Brian?
I'm talking to the doctor, so maybe we can compare.
Oh, I know.
Um, um, but yeah, look, I see, like, I saw my friends go through, their residencies, and like my close friends go through that, and I think, like, Allah only tests you with what you can handle, and I think Allah took that test away from me because I couldn't handle it. So,
Inshallah,
I
mashallah.
don't think um, that stress of residency was very tough on my friends, and alhamdulillah, they got through it.
Yes.
But I'm very happy with my job. Definitely. Like, um, school holidays are good. Like,
Yes.
I can't complain about them.
Yeah.
I think I thrive off this having this like kind of peak like stress, and
Yeah.
then getting to relax in the holidays and
Correct.
peak. Like, I think that works for me. I think like a day-to-day grind
Yes.
without being able to, like, having to take planning your annual leave, doing all of these kind of things is maybe something that, like, that is not for me. So that's good. And at the end of the year to have the 6 weeks is good. Um, I've been able to, schedule myself to study some Islamic studies as well during those times, do some community work during those times. So alhamdulillah, like, I think it works really well for a young, um, yeah, for a young person. Uh, and being connected, I think the main thing is being connected with young people. It gives you energy. It gives you a lot of energy. And it gives you a lot of inspiration and hope for the future and these kind of things. Yeah.
Inshallah, subhanallah. That's yeah, fantastic,
Cool. Yeah.
fantastic. Now we'll start getting into some slightly juicier questions. I think, in your opinion, Ibrahim, what's the education system like in Australia?
So the education system in Australia, okay, so there's a few things.
Yeah,
The syllabus itself is in constant development.
yeah,
I think there is there is always this element of always trying to perfect something. That is something that's very positive. I have big issues with the concept of the HSC
mm,
being exams.
okay,
As someone who didn't like exams, I definitely always was better at assignments, presentations, those kind of things. I find um, exams to be a very niche way of testing the talents of our young people. And I think it's a very easy way to demotivate and to make them feel like they have very little value. When you test them with exams, especially like for chemistry, the exams are 3 hours. Um, Even for me to sit down and do an exam for 3 hours, it is mentally taxing. And they have to do that, for the HSC, for the ATAR, they do that for a few weeks and they're sitting these long exams and it really becomes such a slog. There is an element of like once you've overcome that, you have this idea that, okay, you know, when I have to put my mind to something, even if I hate it, if I take it, bit by bit by bit by bit, I can achieve it, which is definitely good. And that's what happens. Like you go through that even when you're working, you go through periods where you're like, okay, I just gotta suck it up and
yeah.
I gotta work.
You gotta put your head
Like,
down.
you can't, like, yeah, you gotta put your head down, you gotta work.
Yeah,
So there is that element of it that's good. Um, there is that element of it that's good. But I think the exams, like, I think there are definitely students that suffer because the only way of assessing them is by exams and the scalings, picking the correct subjects. All of these kind of things is quite stressful.
yeah,
I don't have a better alternative.
yeah,
Um, I think the ACT has something that's a bit better.
yeah,
They do the year 11s and the year 12 mark, like it's kind of a cumulative mark, and they don't have a final exam,
yeah,
from what I recall. So that is a bit better.
yeah,
But I don't know the cons of that, so I haven't seen
yeah,
the cons of that. But the system is good. Syllabus are pretty good, like in terms of teaching. Um, like the idea is this is the idea, and I think it's important that parents understand this for their children that go through high school. That it's important that our young people, and even us actually,
yes,
especially in this day of mass information,
correct.
have a sense, have a good sense, have a good grounded sense that, for example, if an information comes their way, they can say, "Oh, that doesn't sound right. I have some doubt, and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to verify that information."
Yes,
If you don't have these foundational sciences like maths, the sciences, and this understanding, like for example, in science, when I teach science, we talk about climate change quite a bit.
yeah,
There's quite a bit of there's some like astronomy, these kind of things. If you don't have these
yeah,
foundations, um, you're not able to automatically verify information,
correct.
and you just become gullible. You become a slave of whatever
Social
social
media.
media or whatever information is throwing at you.
Yeah,
So it's very important that they are grounded in these sciences, and that's what the syllabus does very well.
yeah,
It's getting even better. Like there are some subjects like investigating science, which is very good
yeah,
in terms of even looking at teaching students how to look at an article, like a properly published article, and see flaws in it, in its testing methodologies, those kind of things. These things are really important. So it's moving in the right direction. So I'm happy with it that way.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
mean, some people do say that the education system, I mean, compared to the Asian countries, the Southeast Asia, it's a little bit behind. Some people do say that, and
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
I mean, in
In
terms
terms of content, right?
in terms of
Like,
content, in terms of
yeah.
syllabus, because I'll probably say primary one kid in Singapore is very different from a primary one or year one student in Australia, for that matter. So it's just
No, that's a very good point.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, I've noticed
yeah,
that even in high school, like from year 7 to year 10,
yeah,
there is a lot of um, repeating the same thing over and over and over again, unnecessarily, actually, in a lot of ways. And it actually kind of teaches them that I'm going to learn this year. I'll learn it again next year. So I
Okay.
don't need to make sure it's stuck in my mind.
Okay.
Um,
You're saying that,
yeah. So
yeah. You're saying
yeah,
that
yeah.
you,
That's a really good point.
yeah. Are
Yeah.
you saying that for in the other set, or are you saying that in the Australian setting, there's no
No, I'm
repetition?
talking about in the Australian so like it like that's the difference, right? From year 7 to 10 is I'm just talking about the science
Yeah.
syllabus because that's what I have
Yeah.
most experience with.
Okay.
There is a lot of repeating the same thing over and over again. But then you get to year 11, year 12, and you're learning new concepts every day. You're learning something new, and you're not going back. So then there's this big shift of speed, um, and they're expected to have the foundations that they were supposed to have in year 7 to 10.
Yeah.
But now the syllabus is changing year
Yeah.
7 to 10, so hopefully it's a bit more better in
Yeah.
that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you said, it's heading in the right direction.
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully,
I
yes.
mean, how do you sort of see the
Yeah.
teaching industry now with the emergence of AI and all that happening? And like you said, back in when I was in high school, we didn't have internet. Everything was books. We had to go to
Hmm.
library to get information. Now it's much different. Everybody's got a phone. Information is it's easily available now. Like, and now on top of that, the newer generation will have to deal with AI because writing essays, you can get Chat GPT to write an essay for you. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how do you sort of see that? How do you see that going?
So, yeah, like I knew there'd be a question on AI, so I was a bit prepared for it.
Okay.
Um, so what we've been doing at school,
Yeah.
we actually what this AI revolution has forced us to do is to do a lot of in-class
Yeah.
tasks, which actually have been really good. Because even for me, I know my parents help me a lot with my assessments.
Yes.
You probably help your kids with their assessments as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're probably waiting for like the teacher's mark so that you can do like I did well. So
That's true.
you probably help that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so what I've seen with that is a very positive in schools,
Yeah.
a very positive shift towards like project-based learning, which is very interactive, pushing them to not, and we don't like use any like throughout the whole project, we might never use a device. We might only use a device like once or twice
Okay.
um, for those students, and it really pushes them to think. And they do their own research at home, and they bring equipment from home, and they go shopping,
Yeah.
and they talk to people around them, those kind of things. So that's a positive thing. Like I kind of think there was a point in the middle,
Yeah.
like before we realized that AI could solve anything, where you'd give students assignments and everything to do at home, and they would just, their parents would do it, or um, they would find something and copy paste and just change around a few words
Yeah.
and these kind of things. So that's the positive thing in the school if the school has the correct methodology for managing it.
Yeah.
But in terms of teaching, AI, I've actually had not the best experience with it. I've used it. It's good for things like for summarizing things for you, but it only works well if you're very well grounded in your understanding of a topic, especially in science,
Okay.
because it has repeatedly, many times, given incorrect answers,
Mm.
hallucinated, like, done wrong calculations, and has done wrong calculations. And when you try and correct it, it just stays very adamant
Okay.
on the calculations that it has. I haven't learned any proper prompt engineering. It could be that might be something that I need to work on as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I think like definitely in terms of um, exercising this muscle that is the brain,
Yes.
um, it has it has had very huge detrimental effects, and I think we'll see the big effects of that,
Yeah.
in the upcoming years.
Absolutely.
Probably not, with the generation that's in school now, I
Yep.
would think,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I think with the generation that was like graduated like 3, 4 years ago, that where they were using AI unchecked. They did their uni degrees with AI mostly unchecked,
Yeah.
these kind of things. and then probably like the ones that are gonna graduate in 4 or 5 years, if we don't really figure out a way to get this under control,
Yeah.
we will see like I think very detrimental long-term effects
Yeah, yeah,
of this.
yeah. They
Yeah,
have to find some way of regulating it. Plagiarism. I mean, it's coming into every field. Medicine and teaching and
yeah,
every. It's coming into
hmm
everything. What a
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just sort of what challenges. What did you find most challenging in your career, Brian, so far?
In my career,
Yeah.
um, I'm blessed that the school that I'm at is very supportive.
Yeah.
They've known me for a long time. So they're very supportive of my goals, my long-term goals, and giving me space to grow and develop myself. But I think for a lot of young people around, like, around my age, this idea of, in teaching, like, it's pretty good. Like, salary is not too bad. Especially if you are able to get into some coordination positions. Workload again goes up and down. I can get quite stressful, especially like during exam periods. They can be a lot of take homework. They can be a lot of writing exams, marking exams, these kind of things. It can get quite hectic. But you get through that. You get through that. Um, yeah, so it's pretty good, but definitely for people my age, I know there's this idea, like, with cost of living going up, having a job that like teaching, which you kind of get capped at one point,
Yes.
can be a struggle.
Yes.
And I know this is a sentiment amongst those that I know,
Yes.
whereas others who work in corporate fields, you can just switch jobs, switch different companies, and your salary goes up.
Yeah.
The issue in health and teaching and these highly regulated industries, that you have a set salary, and unless you take more responsibility,
Yeah.
your salary will not go up. And usually, these people, they have young families. They don't want to take more responsibility
Yeah.
because they want to spend more time with their families. And there's no easy way to progress like you would, for example, if you were in IT or working corporate or something like that.
Yeah. Correct. And yeah, nicely said, Ibrahim. And what are the pros and cons for being a teacher? I think you said the biggest pro is the school holidays, isn't it? And I remember my
Yeah.
parents when we had school holidays there back home. We used to do They had to do a lot of tuition. So during the school holidays,
Yeah,
so we
okay.
always had students coming home, and they'll be doing. I mean, they were
Oh,
busy.
wow. Yeah.
They'll be busy, and
hmm
like I said, the education system there is very. Everyone wants to try and compete against each other. It's very competitive there. So my parents,
Yeah,
school
yeah.
holidays or no school holidays, finish school, come back. There's always students at home. They'll be grinding away. But yeah, I mean, in your
Wow.
experience, what's your big? I mean, pros and cons for being a teacher.
Yeah, definitely the big pro is the school holidays, the um being connected to young people all the time, being like the biggest one is um once you can build that trust, once you can build that rapport,
Yes.
like the thing that I've noticed that young people need are positive role models.
Yes.
Uh, Being a teacher allows you to fill that role
Yeah.
of being a positive role model if you do it properly, of course.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even in classes, I would say, let's just let's not, that we were ahead of content. Let's not do a class. Let's just talk. And then we just talk with the students. They talk about their problems, their issues, what they're struggling with, all of these kind of things. Um, and and um, and from there, yeah, like you're able to have a positive effect on them. I've been teaching for quite a while. Many of my students are graduated now. They have jobs. They're working, volunteering in other fields, all of these kind of things. And it was those, and they come back, they talk to me, and there was those talks where we were very, like, casual, very just breaking things down together that really help them in their goals. So that's a big pro to be able to have a positive effect on those around me.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I mean the con for me, the biggest con would be that I have to wake up early in the morning to beat school traffic to
Yeah.
get to work on time.
Yes. Yes.
That's probably the biggest con.
Yeah.
I'm not like a big morning person. I
Yeah.
would love to choose my own hours,
Yes.
but as a teacher, you can't choose your
You can't
hours.
choose your
So
hours. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was going to ask you a question. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Anyway, what's your yes, I forgot. I forgot the rhyme. Anyway, it'll come to me later. What's your message to the upcoming generation for who intend to follow the same footsteps, footpath as you?
I think I think my message is focused on because I talked about money before,
Yeah,
and this is always going to be a concern of people growing up, especially from immigrant families that might not have like generational wealth and these kind of things. I actually had in the beginning of the year when um, and I was talking to another brother about that as well. Like, I think when you find out that you're going to be a father, you're going to have your first child, the for the man, your mind automatically goes to, okay, how am I going to provide?
correct.
Like, from the first day. Like, for the mother, there's um, probably like the stress and the difficulty of the pregnancy definitely builds
Yes,
throughout.
yeah,
Uh, but as soon as you hear the news, your mind is like, as the father, potential father, you're like, okay, how am I going to provide for my family? What am I going to do? What job am I going to do? All of these kind of things. Is the job I'm in, is it going to be providing me with enough money? These kind of things. So actually, I had a bit of a bit of a crisis, and um, many brothers I ended up talking to about this had the same crisis.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and and then so I talked to one of my mentors, one of the colleagues at my school, um, who's much older than me. He has like I think he has like five children, sole provider for his family for most of that time, as a teacher. And I went to him and I was like, and I also like I talked to him and I also talked to someone else in our school who was um in the finance department as well. So and they gave me very important advice. They said, look, you're trying to increase your wealth, you're trying to increase your money um by seeking it from other people, right? Who have limited wealth, who have limited money. And what they said is what you actually need to do is you need to increase your risk by asking from the person that is Ar-Razzaq, that has no limit in what he can provide. And he tells us that one of the ways that you can, that Allah tells us that one of the ways that you can increase your risk is to do good things and to spend from your time and to spend from even your money. And with all of these things, He will provide for you and He will take care of you. Um, and the more helpless you are in front of Him, the more He will provide for you. And the more arrogant you are, or the more you think that I can take care of myself, the less his risk will come to you. And the less barakah there will be in that risk, or the less barakah there'll be in that wealth. Or you'll be tested with that wealth, those kind of things. So he gave me and that was really important advice because I was thinking, maybe what I need to do is I need to stop volunteering. I need to stop spending extra time at work because I don't get paid overtime to work and spend time with students and go on trips and do all of these kind of things. But then he said, no, like, these things will actually put barakah in your wealth. They'll
Mm,
give you richness more than you can expect.
mm,
And I think that's very important. I've talked to many young brothers,
yeah,
like, and I think we're even at a time now, a crisis now, where our young Muslim brothers are actually um, delaying having their families because they are worried about providence and risk from Allah, which we know is kind of like even which even is a very fine line, which can even be like on the line of not having proper belief in that Allah is a provider, that He will take care of you, these kind of things. So I don't think it's their, like, I'm not saying it's their fault. I think it's actually the fault of us as older generations, as role models and all of this, to remind them, just like I needed to be reminded, even though, alhamdulillah, I feel like I'm very well connected to my faith. I have good circles, all of these kind of things. I had to be reminded about this. So I think it's on us to keep reminding our younger generation that no, Allah will provide for you, as long as you, um, have faith in Him and you trust that He will take care of you.
Yeah. MashaAllah, well said, Ibrahim. I really, yeah, appreciate that. Well said. And so, yeah, I remember what I wanted to say now. I said, you sound
Hmm.
like an amazing teacher, Ibrahim. Wish I had a
Yeah,
teacher like you when I was studying back then. But no, well said, Ibrahim.
for sure.
So I was just wanting to touch a little bit on the cost of living. Everything is going up.
Hmm.
Everything is going up.
Hmm.
Food
Hmm.
and petrol and everything. Utilities. And like you said,
Hmm.
increase your barakah, increase your so that you get, you ask Allah Azza wa Jal to provide, grant you rizq and increase your barakah and whatever you do.
Hmm.
I mean, how do you sort of tackle this? And in your view, like, what do you do now that you're becoming you're going to become a father soon, inshallah, and expenses are going to go up again. So, I mean, what are your strategies?
I think in terms of increasing your risk, this is something that I'm learning as well. So I'm definitely just sharing advice that has been passed on to me, and seeing, how it would translate. Alhamdulillah, I haven't like got to the point where, I've been bankrupt and I have no money, no anything. So Allah's been taking care of me, alhamdulillah. So I think the idea is to, um I think the biggest thing is to have a paradigm shift in our actions, in that all of our actions become for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, we like, of course, like, I'm in this period. I need to be looking after my wife because she's pregnant, because I need to be setting up the house for my family. I need to be doing these kind of things. Um, and it may be easy to think that, you know, um, instead of doing all of these things, I could be, earning more money, or I could even be, increasing my risk by, volunteering here or helping out there or doing this or doing that. Um, but I think understanding that in the example of the Prophet ﷺ was that
Sallallahu alaihi
he
wasallam.
actually served his family,
Yes,
um, and serving your family with the right intention, hoping for nothing but reward from Allah, is what will put barakah in your life.
inshallah.
Um,
Yeah,
and that's definitely something that I'm learning, and I have to always push myself, when things get difficult, when things get tough, and you're at home and you're running around and you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're really busy, and you come home and you're really tired, and then you think, oh my God, I did all of that and I have to do it all over again. And then you get really demotivated, and sometimes you might snap at someone
yeah,
that you really care about,
yeah.
you know but if you do it for the sake of Allah, Allah will reward you. Then then you know that it's being written. I mean, it's being written for His sake, and the the worth of that, we know, like, a good deed is at least worth 10 times that of the original action,
Yes,
with the right intention.
yes,
So it does increase, in your returns, and if you don't see it in this life, which Allah promises that you will see in this life as well,
yeah.
but you will definitely see the huge returns in the hereafter,
Inshallah,
inshallah.
inshallah. Yeah, I mean, that's very inspiring words, Ibrahim. Now, I think probably my last question is: there anything? I mean, how do you sort of? I know we can't look into the future, but how would sort of do you see yourself or society or in the industry in the next 10 years or in the next decade? How do you sort of see how it's going?
I, yeah, I see very positive things for the future, especially future of Muslims in Australia, because that's my main where my scope is. Um, I see a lot of hope in the future of our young people. I think they're a lot less like apathetic than like I was when I was young. Like, I think they think a lot more deeply about how they want to change the world. I think having examples of, activists that are young, that are, for example, those like young people that went on the flotilla to Gaza, for example, like, having examples of people that, even from the comfort of their homes,
Mm.
on social media can make actually very, um,
Big impacts,
huge
huge
change,
impacts.
and
Yeah,
and then through their interactions they can go and actually do things internationally.
yeah,
um is amazing.
absolutely. Yeah,
I think like, our generation, as internet was growing, we were, there was like this whole, like you can explore so many communities and these kind of things, but now I think we're kind of like on this activist track,
yeah,
and there are people that really care about the future of this world.
correct.
um, and there are people that actually, and there is a huge shift towards actually, the strengthening of faith of our young people, actually.
Mm.
Like, young people, from what I can see, that wouldn't usually be very religious. Their parents aren't very religious, even to the point where their elder brothers or older siblings wouldn't be very religious, are coming back
Mm.
to their faith, and they're not only coming back to it, they're learning about, why, what the reasons are for the practices that they do.
Yeah.
There's a big resurgence in young people not from Arabic speaking backgrounds that are learning Arabic for the
Mm.
sake of reading the Quran,
Mm.
and increasing the connection to this language of Arabic. There's a lot of young people, that are, making very significant plans to, to go for Hajj, to fulfill their religious obligations, who are trying very hard to pray their five daily prayers, all of these kind of things. There's a lot of positives that I can see, in the community, and I think it's important that, we, as people that are older, we support them, and actually that we don't get bogged down in, um, just wanting to better ourselves and better our own standard of living. Um, or like, feeling threatened that, oh, the next generation is going to overtake us and all. They're going to overtake us. It's up to us whether we support them and we help them become better than us,
Yeah.
um, or we just try and hinder them, and then we fight that losing battle.
Yeah. Amazing, Ibrahim. I mean, on that note, we'll probably end there. It was really interesting talking to you. I mean, any final thoughts? Anything that I've missed that you wanted to talk about, or
No, I think, that's pretty clear. I think it's really important that we have safe spaces for young men to talk and
yeah,
to share the concerns that they may have.
yeah,
And because I think we need a lot of support,
yes,
especially as like diaspora communities, immigrant communities, who might not have that strong, um, connection. A big one is, one thing that we haven't touched on is, um, the big focus on making sure our families stay strong,
yeah,
especially our extended families stay strong. This is something that, uh, is unique to our faith and also our cultural backgrounds. And if we let go of it, if we, distance ourselves from our, um, extended families, we will end up, uh, suffering all separately.
yeah,
Um, and we won't even know the suffering that our cousin is going through.
yes,
Uh,
yes,
where where for many of us, the suffering of our cousin would be the same as the suffering for me. So I'd want to help them as much as possible. So strengthening those bonds between extended family, I think, is really, really important.
yes,
And that is what will make us strong as a community, inshallah, and be able to make significant change,
yeah.
and also provide that support that our young people need to grow in a conducive and a very supportive environment. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's again very inspiring, Ibrahim. Like, I mean, that famous sunnah that, I mean, at this time of the age, it's like the ummah is one body. If one arm or one part of the
Hmm.
body is struggling, everyone is, the whole ummah is struggling. Especially with
That's
our
right.
that's
That's
like
right.
especially with our brothers and sisters that are suffering in Gaza and Palestine. and
Sure,
for
bro.
the ummah, any Muslim ummah that's suffering, or anyone for that matter.
Mm.
Anyway, Ibrahim, that was a pleasure talking to you, and I pray to Allah Azawajal to grant you increase your rizq and your barakah, and make it easy
Sure, I mean,
in whatever you're doing as well, and in your
inshallah. I mean, please, yeah, keep me in your du'as, inshallah, and I hope I could
uh,
be some benefit.
yeah, inshallah. We'll speak again soon, Ibrahim. It's okay. Thank you.
Inshallah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for staying and listening till the end. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If this is something of interest or someone may benefit from this, please share, follow, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.